So, women don't find us attractive, fellas. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard all the videos and stuff of women complaining about unattractive, ugly men hitting on them. A lot of these women are plain Janes themselves. Well, the truth is that most women don't find us attractive. You can look at any statistic. Tinder says that 80% of the women are going after the top 20% of the men. So 80, even if you give a little leeway, 70% of men are not seeing any type of action. Hardly any on Tinder or any other dating app. So, all these women ain't staying single, and I'm sure you've seen men who are probably uglier than you, less attractive than you with women. So what's going on here? And it's not really this complicated. It's not really complicated at all, fellas. Because compared to women, we are uglier. That's the first thing we need to understand. Women, a 5 out of 10 woman is just going to look better than a 5 out of 10 man. An average woman just looks better than the average man. But that's partly by design. If you believe the Bible at all, then man was created from dust. Women were created from flesh. So, there's already some refinement and stuff going on there. But look, then you also have this thing about, women have things that make them look better. Like makeup can turn an average or even an ugly woman into almost a supermodel, especially if their body's proportioned right. So they in their minds, they clock their beauty at the best that they can possibly look. And that is a whole nother discussion. And there's other creators that can do a much better job talking about that than me. But back at the topic at hand, how we handle these women that think we're ugly. Well, the truth is, we actually have an advantage. There is some shining light. Because like I said, I have spent most of my adult life as a 4 out of 10. I look slightly better now because I'm in better shape. I have muscles. Now I'm not like sloppy fat like I used to be. But there's things that we can do. Like, first of all, there's physical things you can do. You've probably seen haircut videos of how haircut transformations make men look better, and there's things like you can go physically fit. But even outside of the realm of things that make you physically look better, men have a little advantage because women's shallowness, and this is maybe a bad pun, but women's shallowness actually doesn't run that deep because there's so many things that we can do as men that are not physical that will actually make us look better to women physically, like non-physical attributes that would make us look physically better to women. And I have gone through this, and I've seen this happen for other dudes, and I've seen it happen for myself. Let's say that a woman looks at me and I'm not ugly to her, but I'm definitely nothing special. But if I come up and show that I'm funny, I have conversational skills, I can give deep insight, that actually makes me look better in her eyes, especially if that's something that's important to her. I'm sure you know the whole thing about, oh, he makes me laugh. Well, that's important to some women. If comedy or laughing is something that's important to women and you show that you can do that, congratulations. You look better in her eyes physically. So, and that's an advantage that we have as men, like I said, because men, if we think a girl's ugly and she makes us laugh, even if laughter is very important to us, she's still ugly. You know what I mean? Like, that's we're not moved emotionally that way. So, okay, let me address something real quick, because I'm pretty sure y'all have seen a lot of this videos, especially if you keep up with TikTok at all. But there was this whole thing about women coming on here saying how they wasn't initially attracted to their husbands at the beginning. Now, there's a lot of hot takes about that. A lot of creators saying that, That's crazy for a woman to think that. And the problem with most of the men saying this is that the guys that are saying that a woman should never think that about a man, these guys that are saying that, they're good-looking guys. They're handsome dudes that are over 6 feet tall. And most of them are like extremely physically fit. So they themselves, given this take, have never experienced what it's been to be an average guy. Them, if you're a handsome dude over 6 feet, you're automatically in the top 20%. Because first of all, only less than 15% of men in America are over 6 feet tall. And then to be handsome on top of that, you're automatically in the top 20%. So for one of them guys to think that, that is totally understandable. But for the rest of us, we're working with something different, folks. We're definitely working with something different. So there was one specific example that I saw recently where a woman was talking about how her husband was not her type, and she described her type, and it was definitely not her husband, and even called her husband kind of country or something. She used like something like country bumpkin or something like that. But they had been married for a few years. So I heard the takes before I actually saw the woman. But when I actually looked up the woman, saw her and her husband together, I looked at her and I looked at the husband, and in my mind, I'm like, well, duh. I mean, duh, she didn't find him attractive. I saw that very easy to understand. Now, should she have said it publicly the way she did? That's another matter entirely. Probably not. But I could look at those two, and if she said that she liked her husband from the start, I'd be like, you lying B. Like, I hate to say it, I'm probably better looking than that guy. I mean, seriously. But the guy had a lot of redeeming qualities that was clearly important to her. And that's my entire point. Fellas, if you're less than if you're at the bottom edge of 7 out of 10 or below that, I can almost guarantee you that a woman that you find attractive does not find you attractive. Right now. On sight. Here's the thing. Things that you can do can raise your value in a woman's eyes and raise your physical attraction in a woman's eyes. If you can sing, I've been talking to women, and you can tell their response to me is not even lukewarm. It's like not cold, not even lukewarm. But I talk to them, I make them laugh, and I might even bust out into a song. And I'm not even a really good singer, but I can carry a tune. I've had a girl, I've been singing, and then she'll, oh, you can sing. And then all of a sudden, her attitude towards me shifts, and you can see it immediately. So just something like that. And like I said, I'm not even the best singer. I'm sure everybody has seen cases where these like nerdy dudes who are expert at like anime or comic books or something that we don't deem as anything that is spectacular, be with very attractive like Comic-Con girls and you know, comic lovers, because they're good at something that is important to these particular girls. So if you want somebody to like you, you got to be something they like. That's first and foremost. But a lot of times we don't give the women a chance to know that they like us, because sight is all you see. Sight is all you're working with. But we have a measure to get better at this. Here's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to wrap this up. Get good at something. Be the best you can be. And women in that circle of what of whatever you're good at will show interest in you. If you're, and I made another video about this, if you're not attractive, cold approaching is probably not the best idea, because women already got their shields up, and if they don't find you attractive, women these days can be very, very cold. But there's ways of testing that, and I made a whole video of how to do a lukewarm test. But fellas, moral of the story is, get good at being something, and you will have better results, because that will actually increase your level of attractiveness with women. All right. Have a good one.